Our topic for today is triangles. Today we are going to study about different kinds of triangles, terms related to triangles, and about congruency of triangles. Now, what is a triangle? A triangle is a closed figure made of three line segments. Tri means three and we have angles. So, a triangle stands for a figure which has three angles and also it has three sides and three vertices. Now, what is a vertex? A vertex is a point where two sides of a triangle meet. So, the vertices of a triangle over here are A, B and C. You have studied that a triangle can be classified according to its sides as scalene triangle, isosceles triangle and equilateral triangle. In a scalene triangle, none of the sides are equal. In an isosceles triangle, two sides are equal, whereas in an equilateral triangle, all the three sides are equal. You have also studied that a triangle can be classified according to its angles as obtuse angled triangle, acute angled triangle and right angled triangle. Now, what is an acute angled triangle? An acute angled triangle is a triangle in which all the three angles are less than 90 degrees. What is a right angled triangle? A right angled triangle is a triangle in which one angle is equal to 90 degree. A triangle cannot have two right angles because 90 plus 90 will give us 180. So the third angle has to be 0, which is not possible since the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degree. So a triangle can have only one right angle. And what is an obtuse angled triangle? An obtuse angled triangle is a triangle in which at least one angle is greater than 90. Now let's study about median of a triangle, about altitude of a triangle and circumcenter, incenter, circumcircle, incircle. Now, if we take the midpoint of side BC of a triangle and I am drawing a line segment joining A with the midpoint of the opposite vertex, which is M. What is AM? AM is a line segment joining a vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side, and such a line segment which joins a vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side is called a median. A triangle has three angles, three sides, three vertices. Similarly, a triangle has three medians, one median corresponding to each side or each vertex. Now, which is the median corresponding to the vertex B or the side AC? BN is the median corresponding to the vertex B or side AC. Similarly, we can draw CP as the median corresponding to the side AB. Now, all the three medians of the triangle are concurrent. They are meeting at one single point, that is G. And this G is called centroid of the triangle. So this was about median of a triangle, where a median is a line segment joining a vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. Now we are going to study about altitude of a triangle. You all know the meaning of altitude is height. So what is the meaning of altitude of a triangle? By altitude of a triangle, we mean a perpendicular drawn from a vertex to the opposite side. Over here, AM is the perpendicular drawn from vertex A to the side BC, which we are taking as the base over here. Similarly, we can draw BN as the altitude corresponding to side AC, and we can draw CP as the altitude corresponding to side AB. All the three medians are concurrent at a point I'm taking that point where the three medians are meeting as O, and the point where, I'm taking the point where the three altitudes are meeting as O, and O is called the orthocenter of the triangle. Okay, now we also have something called angle bisector and we have perpendicular bisector. You have studied about it in junior classes. If I ask you to draw the angle bisector of angle B, then what will you do? With B as vertex, you will draw an arc. Then, without changing the radius, you will draw two arcs, one from here and the other from here, and you join. So, what have you done? You have drawn the angle bisector of B. So, this angle and this angle will be equal. Similarly, if you draw another angle bisector, you draw the angle bisector of C, then both of them are meeting at a particular point, and this point where the angle bisectors of a triangle meet is called incenter of the triangle. Incenter of a triangle is equidistant from all the three sides. So the incenter has to be drawn in such a way that its perpendicular distance from all the three sides is same. Now let's talk about circumcircle and circumcenter and perpendicular bisector of the various sides of a triangle. If you have to draw perpendicular bisector of BC, now perpendicular bisector comprises of two words, perpendicular and bisector. So the line that we will draw will bisect BC and also it will be perpendicular to BC. So with B as center and radius more than half of BC, you will draw one arc above BC and one arc below BC. Similarly, with C as center, radius more than half of BC, you will draw one arc above BC and one arc below BC, and then you will join. So this PM is the perpendicular bisector of BC. Similarly, you can draw the perpendicular bisector of other sides of the triangle. Now the perpendicular bisectors will meet at a particular point which is called the circumcenter. Circumcenter of a triangle is equidistant from all the three vertices of a triangle, and using circumcenter we can draw the circumcircle of the triangle. Now let's talk about congruency of triangles. What do we mean by congruency of triangles? First of all, what do we mean by congruency of any two figures? If two figures are congruent, they will have the same shape as well as the same size, and they will be equal in all aspects. So if two figures are congruent, their area will also be the same. Vice versa, the converse is not true. If two figures are equal in area, they may not be congruent to each other. A circle and a triangle may be equal in area, but a circle and a triangle, they are totally two different shapes, and so they can never be congruent. Okay, now what are the properties of congruency? What are the various laws through which we can decide whether two triangles are congruent or not? And the various laws we are going to study about are SSS property, we are going to study about side angle side property, we are going to study about angle side angle property, which can be modified as angle angle side property, and we are going to study about right angle hypotenuse side. Now what is the meaning of S over here? S stands for side, A stands for angle, R stands for right angle, H stands for hypotenuse, and this S again stands for side. If you have been given two triangles, then how will you decide whether both the triangles are congruent to each other or not? Simply by looking at the figure, you cannot say that the two triangles are congruent or not. You should be given some criteria, some conditions, and depending on those conditions, you will say that the two triangles are congruent or they are not congruent. Suppose it has been given that AB is equal to PQ and it is given AC equal to PR and it is given that BC is equal to QR. Then you will say that, suppose this proof has to be written properly. Please mind you, most students don't know how to write geometrical proofs properly. Whenever we write a proof, we should write the statement and the reason for it. So if I'm simply given this and I'm asked to prove whether the triangles are congruent or not, I should write like this. In triangle ABC and triangle PQR, what are the three conditions through which I am going to prove that the triangles are congruent or not? They are AB equal to PQ. How do we know this? It's given in the question. It's given in the figure. AC equal to PR. Again, we know this because it's given in the question, given on the figure. Then we have BC equal to QR. You must write the reason everywhere for every statement. Now we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. And by which property? Side, side, side property. So by SSS property, the two triangles are congruent. Remember children, when you write about congruency, please write the corresponding vertices at the corresponding positions. So vertex corresponding to A is P, vertex corresponding to B is Q, and vertex corresponding to C is R. So you can see that AB and PQ are equal, BC and QR are equal, and AC and PR are equal. So we have proved that, so we have learned how to prove that two triangles are congruent by SSS property. Okay, now in these two triangles, if it is given that angle B is equal to angle Q and it is given AB is equal to PQ and AC is equal to PR, then it is not necessary that the two triangles will be congruent. This is not sufficient to say that the two triangles are congruent, because you can see that AB and AC are meeting at A. So A is the included angle over here. PR and PQ are meeting at P. So P is the included angle. Over here, nothing has been given about whether the included angles are equal or not. So simply looking at the figure, we cannot say that the two triangles are congruent by SAS property. In SAS property, it is necessary that the angle has to be the included angle. It has to be included between the given sides. So only if it is given that these two angles and these two sides, corresponding sides, are equal of the two triangles, then we can say that triangles are congruent by SAS property. Is this angle included between the equal sides? Yes. Is this angle included between the corresponding equal sides? Yes. So we can say that in triangle ABC and triangle PQR, AB is equal to PQ. How do we know it? It's given in the question. BC equal to RQ. Again, it's given in the question. But, don't write this first. Because we will be using SAS property, it's better to write in the same order. Side, then angle. Angle B is equal to angle Q. Again, given in the question. Then BC is equal to RQ, again given in the question, and we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. How do we know it? By SAS property. Okay, tell me children, what happens when two triangles are congruent? When two triangles are congruent, all the corresponding parts become equal. Since these two triangles we have proved are congruent, this side and this side has to be equal by corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC property, we can say that these two sides are also equal. This angle is equal to this angle and this angle is equal to this angle. Okay, now we are going to study about angle side angle property. You all know that if two angles of a triangle are equal to two angles of another triangle, suppose we have 50, 60, 70 in 50, 60 in one triangle, and in another triangle also we have 50, 60. Then sum of the three angles of a triangle is 180 degree. If this is 50, this is 60, this has to be 70. Similarly, if this is 50, this is 60, this has to be 70. So if two angles of a triangle are equal, automatically the third angle also becomes equal. So if it has been given, this angle is 50 degree. This angle is also 50. This is 60 and this is whatever. It has to be 70. And it is given any one of the sides are equal, then we can say that the two triangles are congruent by angle side angle property. How can we say that? The side is not included, isn't it? The side is not included, then how can we say that? See, the side opposite 50 degree, the side opposite 50 degree, both are equal. So the corresponding sides are equal. Now if the corresponding sides are equal, we know that if this is 70, this will also be 70. So we are able to conclude that even though the side is not included, this is a case of angle side property. Still, this is a modified version of angle side angle property because the corresponding sides are equal. Now let's study about right angle hypotenuse side. In these two triangles, angle B is equal to angle Q equal to 90 degree. Okay. In triangle ABC and triangle PQR, angle B is equal to angle Q is equal to 90 degree given in the question. Okay. If it is given that AB is 3 centimeter and also PQ is 3 centimeter, and it has been given this is 5 centimeter, this is also 5 centimeter, then see, this is the right angle we have spoken about, RHS property, right angle hypotenuse side. What is the hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is the side opposite to the right angle. So the hypotenuse over here is 5 centimeter, it is the longest side of the triangle. Hypotenuse over here is this 5 centimeter. So we can say that AC is equal to PR is equal to 5 centimeter given in the question. We have written about one angle and one side. We have written about one angle and the hypotenuse. Now I need to say that another side is also equal. So AB is equal to PQ, which is equal to 3 centimeter. So we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR by RHS property. I hope this is clear to you. Please be very careful about writing. Suppose it is said, children, we have proved that the two triangles are congruent, everything is done fine. Now suppose you have to prove that BC equal to RQ. How can you say that BC equal to RQ? Once you have proved that the two triangles are congruent by any of the 4 axioms or property that I taught you, you can say BC is equal to RQ. Why? CPCTC. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. What do we mean by parts of a triangle? By parts of a triangle, we mean the corresponding sides or the corresponding angles. So these two are the corresponding sides of the two triangles. How do you know that these two are the corresponding sides of the two triangles? See, this is equal to this is equal to this. So obviously the third side, these two sides will be the corresponding sides. I hope you have understood till here. Now I'll be setting some sums on congruency from your textbook. You are requested to do it. Please keep studying. A lockdown period very difficult, but I'm sure that you will take your studies seriously and practice maths every day. Thank you so much.